Hi guys, welcome to Corner Taken Quickly podcast. With me here is Nikhil, Arun, and a special guest Neeraj from 115 Ball. And he's a very big Germany fan and as well as a Bayern Munich fan. And since the Euros are coming up, we thought of making a slightly different video about the condition and the rise and the fall of the German national team. Of course, my background is for Barca since I'm a Barcelona fan, but the major video is regarding the state of the German national team. Talking about the current situation, Neeraj, can you please help us understand what Germany is going through right now and how this fall occurred and what are the possible things that are potentially to look forward to?
So I think, as you all know, that the German national team is undergoing a massive transformation, and our coach, the present coach Joachim Low, is expected to leave after the Euros. So the reason, okay, so now many people actually wonder that even after winning a World Cup with the national team, winning the Confederations Cup, and I think making it to 2 or 3, making it to, I think, 2 World Cup semifinals and 2 Euro semifinals. Why is he getting kicked out? And I think the entire decline, it started after the 2018 World Cup. That was the trigger point, and I think Joachim Low was the one who brought it to himself, because right now there are many players that are being left out, and the fans believe, the experts around the globe believe that they should be a part of the team, but they are being dropped incessantly. They have been dropped like continuously. Every time there is an international break, we expect to see these guys. We expect to see these guys back in the German colors, but they are always dropped. They are never on the team. So after facing a lot of criticism, of course, I mean, and I feel that it was a deserved denunciation, because people have been cynical about his approach, and I think it was completely deserved, because it's very evident that the players who are being left out can do much better than the ones who are being relied upon presently. So I think, due to all the pressure, and I'm sure that he doesn't want to get into the World Cup while the fans are not on his side. So I think this is the reason behind his resignation. So Euros is nothing but one last, I would say that one last shot for him to show it to the world that he still has something left in him, and maybe that can help him to get a better job once he leaves the German national team. Then he might find a job at some club, and if he performs really good at Euros, if Germany plays really good at Euros, then I think he might end up with a very lucrative deal at a decent club. So yeah, that's what the resignation is about.
Yeah, it makes sense, dude. After from 2006, he started managing the job, especially after the World Cup. He was given the contract, and he has done really well with the team and evolved himself through the years to win, to go on and win the World Cup, and then also going to semi-finals rather. So those were the things. And then Arun, what do you think about Yogi Low as a coach, and what is your perspective about him as a coach over the years?
So hi guys, thank you for having me on this podcast. Am I audible, Sheena? Okay. So according to me, he took up the job after the 2006 World Cup when he was assistant to Klinsmann, and they did quite well. They reached semis, and from there on, he's built a team that had leaders and that had people, players who could step up even though you were not playing well. You had Lahm, you had Schweinsteiger, you had Mertesacker, you had Thomas Muller who came in 2009. After that, he was amazing. They had Miroslav Klose and Jerome Boateng, Manuel Neuer. So these guys have just come through, and he's faced everyone in properly year after year. Just recently, he has removed ousted out Muller, Boateng, and Hummels, which I didn't like at one shot. And I didn't. I felt that that was a sign of he just wanted to get the youngsters, and the youngsters haven't like all gelled together and worked. You see Serge Gnabry, he's amazing. But your Timo Werner, I'm a Chelsea supporter, so I know how Timo Werner plays right now, and I'm sorry, he's not that great right now. He's lacking a lot of confidence. Kai Havertz is playing well, but the youngsters that have been put in have not completely repaid the faith, and I think Lowe should get the experienced players back in for these Euros, because if he goes with the same team that lost to Macedonia, then it's going to be a problem for him at the Euros. So he started off very well, but he had good players and he built a team. But then when he started just experimenting with this, it all fell off, and the problems with Ozil in the team, it didn't do him any favors. So I think he should get back the experienced players for his last ever tournament as Germany coach. This is what I feel about it.
So precisely, Arun, touching upon the point that there's a clash between the older generation, which won the World Cup in 2014, and with the new generation that has stepped up post 2018 World Cup. So there's been a lot of mismatch with especially the selection, and with the dropping of Muller, Hummels and Boateng. So that has clearly has had an impact. And plus on the field, I've seen, apart from maybe Joshua Kimmich, I don't think anyone else has possesses the leadership quality. Tony Cruz is a leader in the team, but he's a silent kind of a leader who does not dictate how the players should play in the team. So that's what I felt even while watching the match against Spain. I was up that night and watching the match where Germany lost. So I was able to see that although Kimmich was injured, but there was no one in the field to guide them and to motivate them and to bug them up. So that's one thing that I did notice in the match. And since with the empty stadiums, it's quite easy to listen to what players are trying to say or something. If they shout out very loudly, so in the video recorder, you are able to hear what they are trying to say. So although I was not able to understand what they were, of course, they were saying it in German, but there was no like motivation kind of a thing in the entire group. So, Nikhil, what do you think? Who should be the leader in the team, and how can they improve in the future?
Hi guys. My my thinking is like they have good leaders. Like Marco Reus is a good leader, but he's sort of the player who plays on the pitch and shows. It's not very vocal. And then there's Joshua Kimmich, who's pretty vocal. But apart from that, they have no leaders there. Tony Cruz plays in, but when he's not playing, there's no one to command the midfield like vocally. They may be good players, they may be outstanding players, but still, if you don't have a leader in the center of the pitch, I don't think they can control games. And the youngsters that are coming in, they have one good match, and the next match they show their immaturity or something. They don't take charge of the game, the youngsters. And even though I understand the decision that Joachim Low made to take away the senior players, to banish them, but we have seen other managers do that as well. But you need other leaders in the backup before doing that. German team never had, apart from Kimmich and Royce, I don't think they had any like leaders in the center of the pitch, like central defender, center midfield, anyone there. So they had to, Joachim, before taking this decision, they had to like breed in some leadership into the squad before he did that. It was a sudden decision, and I think not. It's very ill advised.
Well
That's
said,
my
Nikhil.
view.
Yeah. What you were saying was actually right, with especially with no one leading this side, and Royce is again kind of a player who shows how to play well, but not will guide. Uh, on the contrary, actually, I found that Boateng and Hummels were much more vocal leaders in the field, um, who actually motivated the players. But yeah, starting with the decline phase of German national team, Neeraj, why can you just put in some light into the fact that Hansi Flick was the assistant of the German national team then since 2014? So he left the role after that. Although Germany did well slightly till 2017 also. But do you think that of him leaving the side had an impact on other players? Since I've heard that he was good with set pieces and he's a very good man manager.
Yeah, Hansi Flick has always had that sense of camaraderie with all the players who play for the German national team. But I won't say that the biggest reason for the decline of the German national team was because of the fact that Hansi Flick left. Okay, because as you can see that after Hansi Flick left, we still managed to make it to the semi-finals of the Euros. We lost to France over there. We won the Confederations Cup. And okay, this many people might refute this, but there are a lot of things that I noticed from the 2018 World Cup. So, and also the part where people believe that Joachim Löw took this decision of sacking Müller, Hummels, and Boateng because he wanted to promote youngsters. I think that that doesn't really make sense because if you're talking about sacking the old players and promoting youngsters, then why is Manuel Neuer still in the team? Manuel Neuer is much older than any of these guys, if you have a look at it. So I don't think it's justified to give this as a reason that you wanted to have more number of players, you wanted to have younger legs on the field. I don't think that this is a justified reason. And after the 2018 World Cup, the 2018 World Cup happened. Germany got knocked out in the group stage, and many people were saying that it is the winner's curse because even Spain bowed out in the group stage of the 2014 World Cup. Italy lost in the group stage of the 2010 World Cup, and I believe that it was because that Germany were the entire team was under was under a massive amount of pressure from the fans of winning because everyone predicted that Germany are not that kind of a team that would go out in the group stage or would succumb to the pressure because Germany has always had that winning mentality. Okay. And maybe we did actually end up succumbing to the pressure. So I don't understand that if your team, I mean, statistically, if you have a look at all those games, okay, if you have a look at the XGs, if you have a look at the number of shots on target, we outplayed all the teams that we faced in every aspect. The only part where we really missed where we really missed out the part that we missed out on was the finishing. We couldn't finish the balls that were created by our midfielders. The last touch was just not getting into the goal. We did everything but scoring goals. Okay, so I don't think that the manager should have been that harsh and sacked three players. Okay, sacked three players completely. He axed all of them. He axed all of them, and he made it very clear that I have no future plans with them. I'm ending their careers for the national team. I honestly felt that it was totally unacceptable. Okay, and he basically made them the scapegoats of the entire disaster. The World Cup was a disaster for us. It was nothing short of a disaster. But he made these three guys the scapegoats for that World Cup loss. Okay, I genuinely feel that a good lesson should have been taken from that World Cup, and there was no need. There was no need to make a major change in the team, and it could have been taken as a good lesson, and we could have moved on. We could have moved on after that because if you really have a look at it, the performances after the 2018 World Cup, they have been worse. They have been worse. They have been totally bizarre. So I don't get it that you're clearly not doing well with the new set of players. So why are you being so obstinate about not calling up the players that have been left out already? Because now, if you really have a look at it, if you now as I think someone spoke about the game against Spain, right? We had two shots on target. No, sorry, we had zero shots on target. We had, I think, two shots in total and zero on target. And on contrary, Spain had 23. Okay, we were completely outplayed. We lacked possession. We had possession of around 30%. Our passes were, I think, 300 or something, and they were at 500, 600. So we were completely outplayed. Okay, statistically outplayed. And by the scoreline also, we lost 6-0. And I think I have never seen my team play so bad. I've never seen Bayern Munich play so bad. I've never seen the German national team play so bad. Okay, and it was very clear that Serge Gnabry and Leroy Sané, these were the two Bayern Munich players that were playing. Leon Goretzka was also playing. Manuel Neuer, I don't really blame him because I genuinely feel that if it wasn't for Manuel Neuer, we would have ended up losing 12-0 or 13-0, honestly, because they had so many shots on target and they had so many clear chances. Okay, so we really have to dig into the reason behind Serge Gnabry and Leroy Sané not being able to do what was really required and why they can really perform well when they are playing for Bayern Munich. And one of the main reasons behind this is Mueller. So someone just spoke about a leader that is present in the team, right? So that leader has to be Thomas Mueller because he's the one who's one of the most experienced players in Germany presently. Okay, he was the top scorer for the German national team at both the World Cups, at the 2010 World Cup as well as 2014 World Cup. He knows how to guide them well, and so many times in interviews when Gnabry has been asked that why is there so much discrepancy between your performances at the two different platforms, and he has clearly said it. He has been quite outspoken about the fact that it is because of Thomas Müller. Thomas Müller is the one who controls the midfield. So if you really think about it, Thomas Müller is, even if he's not scoring goals or providing assists, which he usually ends up doing, but even if he's not doing that, he's still an asset for the team because he can guide all these youngsters. He can show them the correct path and he knows how to get the best out of them. And that is a major reason why we saw that 6-0 performance. It was honestly, it was a shambolic performance. It was a shame for all the German fans. And what was worse in that performance was Joachim Löw's attitude. I think Srinath, you spoke about it, right? That there was no intent, there was no character shown from the German players, right? Throughout the entire game. So what there were so many errors that were so evident on the television when I was watching the game. There was like a huge gap between the midfield and the forward and the defense. The team was completely disjointed. So and there was I did see Joachim Low getting up from the seat and trying to rectify all these errors. His demeanor was totally, he was oblivious towards whatever was happening on the field. He just did not seem to care about it. And that is also one of the reasons why the 6-0 performance came, because when I saw on the other side how Luis Enrique was leading the team when Spain did not have the ball, Luis Enrique was constantly asking the players. He was constantly asking the players to go and press the ball and win it back. But I didn't see that intent from the German players. I didn't see that willingly from the German players. So I don't think that you can win a match in this manner. And if it's not for the manager encouraging you, you need an experienced player on the field who encourages all these youngsters to go and press the ball, to make those key passes, win the ball back, keep the ball, keep the control of the game, and then have a chance of scoring a goal. But
Even
because of
I was just saying that even Luis Enrique was, after the match was asked that how do you feel about the win? He said that this German team, the players are the same, and I had expected way more, much more better performance from them as compared to
exactly
what
what they put
what
up,
they did
what they
actually on
put
the
up,
field.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So
that's yeah.
everyone expected that, honestly. Everyone expected that. But this was also a problem in that match. And I feel that personally, Joachim Low has not been the same after the 2014 victory. After the 2014 World Cup victory, I feel that he has not been the same. I saw some spark in him during the latest World Cup qualifiers. And honestly, it made it very clear. The World Cup qualifiers made it quite clear that no offense to any of the Chelsea fans, but I have to admit that Werner was not fit for the squad that day. Werner was not fit for the squad because I saw that intent from Joachim Low after a very long time in that match. Okay, I saw it after a very long time. I actually saw him putting in a lot of efforts and acting as if he really cares about the team. But what ended up happening was that we didn't finish properly. Timo Werner missed. So okay, I finish it right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, no.
Okay,
Just please
huh?
continue to what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Continue
almost
and
over.
go
So
through a rap, conclude, continue and then conclude. वही बोल रहा हूँ बस नहीं.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
yeah,
please.
as we could see that, yeah, I mean, in the North Macedonia game, I really saw Joachim Low putting in a lot of efforts, but it was because of the individual errors. which just goes on to imply that you have to make some changes in the team. Maybe even if you have that managerial characteristics, if you still have them, if you still have that intent, you still have that capacity to win anything by yourself, your team is not supporting you, your team is not fit for that. So it's very clear that you have to make some changes, you have to make some changes in the team. And instead, you have to leave your ego at home, and you have to get those players back. You have to get the players back. You have to get Mueller and Hummels back. If not, Boateng has become slow now, but I really feel that Mueller and Hummels have to get back. So yeah, that's all about the decline that started from, I would say, post 2018 World Cup. I won't say 2018 World Cup was bad, but the worst came our way after the 2018 World Cup.
But yeah, actually, in the future, if you see, I see actually a lot
Yeah.
of bright spots if they can are able to combine the older generation with the new, with Muller leading the side and playing as a leader in the side per se, and with Kimmich and Goretzka players like those supporting him. Then Germany can do really well even in the Euros if Joachim Low ends up calling them. But even if not that, then again with Hansi Flick, you actually sense that sort of optimism with
Yeah.
the German national team, what he can do in the future.
Yes.
So that's what I'm predicting. That hopefully this is again Euros is one that you guys would have to suck it up. But again, in the future for the World Cups and the qualifiers, I guess Germany would be doing really well. So that was it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this content. If you like it, then please do let us know with more sort of these things we will be able to do. Thanks a lot, Neeraj, for joining us in. Maybe
Thank you
we'll
so
be
much,
able
man.
to do more
Pleasure
videos about
talking to you.
same here, man.
Yeah.
And thank you, Nikhil and Arun, for joining us in. And hopefully that we are able to make few more videos of this kind in the future. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.